take some blame, but I don't take all of it, because I'm not the one who uploaded those pictures on that website. I'm not the one who decided to take personal information and post it in a very public way.
One moment of trust can quickly turn to betrayal and humiliation. That's what happens in revenge porn. A resentful ex publishes a graphic photo or video of their former lover on the internet to sabotage their reputation. Right now, there is no federal law protecting victims, so dozens of women have decided to stand up and fight back. Sela Kim explains how in part 2 of her revenge porn series.
Who knew a snap and a click would come back to haunt her?
I didn't do anything wrong, and I don't feel like I should be blamed for it.
32-year-old Holly Toops, a teacher's aide who lives in Texas, is a revenge porn victim. Explicit pictures of Toops wound up on the internet for the world to see, and she's not alone.
Once something is put on the internet, it's gone. I mean, it's out there on the internet. So we want people to be safe and really use good judgment before they start taking any lewd pictures of themselves.
There are dozens of websites that provide an easy outlet for bitter exes to post these videos and photos. But creating these media sharing websites is actually not against the law, according to law professors.
Well, just like YouTube and Vimeo and Facebook exist and allow the public to post at will, these sites are, in many respects, the same.
So a lawsuit was the ammunition for Toops' battle. She and dozens of other victims sued the website Texan.com and its web host GoDaddy, claiming obscenity, defamation, and more. Texan.com has been shut down for other reasons, but the lawsuit remains active. And Toops says the explicit photos of her also live on.
Obviously, the photos are going to be around forever at this point, whether I be quiet or whether I fight back. And I'd rather fight back.
Fighting all the way to the top. Right now, the End Revenge Porn campaign is working to draft federal legislation, but it gets tricky. They have to make sure the writing does not infringe on First Amendment rights while criminalizing acts of vengeance.
It would have to be worded very carefully that would not scoop up within its scope constitutionally protected activities.
Brian Cox with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement worries that may be opening up a Pandora's box.
To criminalize an action that was consensual, that the consenting adult engaged in, it's a really slippery slope, dangerous argument to say what can we do on the criminal side.
Problems like this are getting so out of control, Louisiana State Police have set up a new unit called the Special Victims Unit. While simply posting explicit photos that were taken with consent may not be illegal right now, state police say other actions related to such instances often are. Was it voyeurism or even invasion of privacy? Spokeswoman Melissa Mady doesn't know exactly how many local victims are out there, so she encourages people to speak up.
Absolutely, call us and let us know, and we'll look into it.
Victims are slowly starting to find courage, and they hope soon the law will help them end this ugly act of vengeance. And 10 states have laws banning revenge porn. Obviously, Louisiana is not one of them. And Scott, I found that officials are really starting to scrutinize these websites, and they're finding that in some cases they're actually in violation of other laws like invasion of privacy, or in some cases they've started these websites under false identities.
So what if a victim wants to take his or her picture down? What options do they have?
Yeah, that's a good question, because some of these sites are charging an exorbitant amount of money. One site, in fact, is charging $400 just to take down your picture or video. So investigators say make sure you contact them and report this. They do want to look into it, and they do want to investigate. If you want to help end revenge porn, go to the End Revenge Porn campaign website. I put a link to that on our website on WDSU.com. On your side, Sela Kim, WDSU News.